barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. They gon' have barbecue. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue.
Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant of Yago Ham Barbecue. Have you ever stood around a smoker or a grill and felt the world fade away? Now that's barbecue therapy. Hello, everyone. Joining us tonight for a therapy session is Paul Hirsch, the pitmaster behind Summa Dat Que, known for bold flavors, a fun-loving style, and bringing good vibes to every cook. Paul shares how he got started, what drives him, and how he keeps it real in the world of barbecue. Welcome to Barbecue Therapy, and I got one rule: make yourself at home and enjoy yourself.
Right on.
All right. And first question I got is, let's start with your name, Summa Dat Que, one of the best names out there. What's the story behind that name?
Barbecue teams through competition often evolve. So when it first started, that was in 2009, and the team at that time were a little bit younger, a little bit drunker, and name was Meat in Your Mouth, which perhaps classic barbecue team name, but not necessarily something good for the long haul. Mm-hmm. So as I started to get a little bit more into it and wanted to, represent it a little bit more proper, kind of went into a name that just hit me, of Scooby BBQ, which is where the SDQ comes from originally. But because Scooby-Doo is so copywritten and nobody can say Scooby BBQ, they always say Scooby-Doo barbecue. Had to change it. And that's when it came up to Summa Dat Que.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely copyrighted.
Yeah, we try to avoid that here on the tubes and in real life.
Exactly. So how did you first get into barbecue, and what pushed you towards competition?
Pretty much once I started moving out on my own. I just had a family and stuff about 25 years ago. And I kind of met up with a buddy who built fences. Mm-hmm. I became friends with him over time. But he built fences. I did computer work. I still do. And every night he'd have steak and potatoes. And we got kind of tired of that, though. And so we mixed it up with ribs and other things. And some of the fun things we also tried out were lamb and kangaroo, which I kind of call the red meat chicken. The texture is crazy good.
Oh,
it's
wow.
something to try if you haven't tried like a kangaroo roast. Not necessarily as big as a lamb roast. They got smaller cuts because it's kind of pricey, but that's an idea for obscure meats, and that kind of got me into the idea of really looking at barbecue, focusing in on the proteins, what different textures in food are, and then people just were saying you're actually doing pretty good. So that of course got me like, wow, I'm the greatest ever. Thought I'd get into barbecue competitions. And that kind of led me to my first barbecue competition, which was Raytown, Missouri in 2009. And again, this is quite a bit younger days, and we were there mostly for fun. Mm-hmm. No idea what we were doing. We knew we had to turn in 4 meats. It was a KCBS contest. They have the chicken, pork ribs, pork shoulder, and brisket as their 4 categories. We cooked those, but never all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And we had no idea how to turn them in. And then it was raining sideways. And all we had were pop-up tents. It was insane. That was, even though, I got 20 stories to tell from that, but I won't go into all of them. But even after that, it was an amazing ordeal. It was such a challenge, but it really still kind of piqued the interest. So even under just crazy sideways rain, we're standing there for hours holding 2 canopies together, like trying to make anything work. And we came in dead ass last. It happened. Not the first time, but not the last. That happens.
So throughout the competing, did you stay a team or did you branch off by yourself or anything?
One of the guys was a little more focused. Some of the other friends I know, they're there for the party, and that was all good. We had a lot of fun. But one of the other guys was more technical like me, and so we were kind of like, let's try this again, maybe less drinking. And so we did another one, and did a little bit better, but we still had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea what to put in a box. Mm-hmm. It also rained at that one. And then and we still had just a shoddy setup, so we were trying to keep things dry, and we're just in the back of the minivan and no idea what we're trying to turn in. We were like picking apart which is the best piece of this chicken thigh to put in the box.
Wow.
It was terrible. Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
Back in them days, people wasn't helping.
I mean, if we asked, but it was storming. Nobody was wanting to be out in that, being like, turn the whole thing in, and they were trying to turn in too. So
Yeah.
it was a challenge, and those are the things that really get you thinking. And sometimes hey, this isn't for me, but I thought it was still. These challenges are kind of fun in life.
Did you ever try to take a class or anything? Or
What really helped, I think, the most for us with the KCBS was we actually, after that, we did a KCBS barbecue judge class. They have them a few times during the year at various places around the country. We went to one, and they're like, here's kind of the things that turn in. And we're like, oh. Then we actually judged the contest, and we're like, oh. So then we kind of understood, how you want to put them in the box, how you put a garnish together in that box, and what portions to put. It kind of helps in that regard. I've never really taken any classes, which maybe that has led to the long field. But I feel like I've refined my techniques over 15 years of messing with it. That I've got a lot of skills built up, maybe.
So how long did you judge?
I still judge occasionally. I've judged almost 30, which is a master judge in the KCBS hierarchy. I mean, there's people that have judged like 300 contests, so it's a full-time job almost. It's a challenge. You got 4 meats, 6 entries. I mean, that's at least 24 ounces of meat if you're giving them a fair shake. Some people take birdie bites. If it's a good rib, I'm eating that whole thing.
So when y'all judge, cause I'm a judge for GBA, that's the Georgia Barbecue Association, but when y'all judge, do they give you 2 out of 3 meats, or 2 out of 4 meats, or they give you
get
all 4, or
all 4? Yeah, usually. Sometimes they also have auxiliary, like the Great Lenexa Barbecue has a sausage, a beef steak, a miscellaneous, and a side item. Not everybody enters those, so not everybody gets a side item, for example. But usually you'll be tasting all 4 meats, and between 5 and 7 entries, depending on how things shave out, but usually 6 entries.
Yeah, but that they pick you for 2, and sometimes 1, and it'd be like, it's a waste of time coming out here to just judge 1 meat. So.
Man, yeah. It for learning about how things work inside the competition, I think judging is such a great help.
Yeah,
You really start to understand this is what I need to turn in. I mean, we all have great ideas at home. Mm-hmm. Like, this looks great. I posted a picture to Instagram. But it doesn't always fit in a box. And so you have to kind of change things and come up with a method you like.
Yeah, definitely. And you get to taste other people's food and be like, you can compare yours against it to see if, okay, I need to regroup, or, hey, I think I can hang with these folks.
Right. It gives you an idea, and I keep having that idea like, why can't my ribs turn out this good?
All right. How would you describe your cooking style? Are you classic, creative, or chaos with control?
I'd say definitely chaos with control. Like, I got a detailed to the minute plan, which is something that I recommend figuring out. It's tough to put one together before you're starting off for your first contest, because you're not sure how everything's going to turn out unless you put in the time. It's a sport, I like to say. And so, like auto racing, you can't expect to just jump on there and start driving and win a race. You got to have a plan on how to approach this all. And so I definitely have a plan, and everything's laid out. It's just following that plan and adapting to the rain if there is some. Sometimes there's not, and things work out pretty well. Some of these ribbons have reinforced that knowledge.
It's definitely good to know how to redirect if something happens, but always have a game plan, because I'm stickler of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have a backup plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm all about repetition, and if something's out of place or something, it just throws off.
Right? When you get a tool, put it back where you got it.
Exactly. And back when you competed, what was y'all setup? What did y'all cook on?
I've changed. I still do cook, and it's changed over the time from canopies to I had a back porch trailer, which I think is probably the best setup, but it's expensive towing that around the country. Yeah. And I'm not at that level of having my gas paid for.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of downsize again. And so I just trying to travel light. And I used 2 primary smokers, a Yoder YS640 and a Gateway drum smoker. And for a long time, I just used the Yoder. And I've got a whole process planned out when to put the meats and where within the smoker to get all the things on for the turn-in times. But the drum smokers have really captured the market in competition barbecue.
Yes.
Hunsaker and Gateway and countless more brands, they all do a really good job, and people like getting their sleep.
Exactly. I got one sitting in the other room over there that's brand new. I had it for almost 15, 16 months. So my daughter's 13 months, so I got it for Christmas right before she was born, and it's been sitting over there brand new ever since.
Well, you're going to have to fire it up this season.
Yeah.
Going to need it in the competition.
I plan on competing towards the end of the year to try to get started. I'm slowly collecting stuff, and once you get older, I'm going to start practicing more and try to jump out there and just have fun, not go gung-ho, because I still got 2 daughters and a wife, so I can't spend all my money. I'm going to get a regular trailer that got the wood on the inside, the little basic one, and just see how it goes. Just enjoy myself, because the atmosphere itself, the people are some of the friendliest people I run across. So
for sure,
I just love the atmosphere and love being around the folk and just love barbecue. Yeah.
So with trailers, what I finally have ended up doing now is I rent them.
Oh.
Luckily in Kansas City, there's and there's probably in Georgia too, and everywhere almost. Just got to find them. Mm-hmm. People that sell trailers often will also rent them, because that's income still. And so that's kind of what I've gone to now, because I don't have to figure out where to store it, because I have an HOA, and they're obnoxious. Yeah. it's kind of dumb. Yeah. Where I live right now, for having a whole bunch of barbecue equipment. So I do rentals, and that's one way to try before you buy, almost. So you don't have to be like, well, I kind of wish I had 2 more feet.
Pro tip. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, try before you buy.
Exactly. Is there one meat that you think gives you the biggest edge out of the competition meats?
The last couple of years, I did a lot of experimenting with chicken. Different parts of the thigh. I was kind of messing around again. Generally, I just do a chicken thigh by itself, and that's where I've had my most success. Second places, fourth places, haven't hit the first place yet, but consistent at least in top tens. And so I'd say chicken probably. I've really got my process down. I'm not going to mess around at the contest anymore. I'm just cooking chicken thighs and following my process. Boom, boom, boom. Ka-ching.
All right. All right. The next question is, what's your prep process leading into the comp weekend? Are you a spreadsheet person or go with the flow?
I mean, there's a little bit of go with the flow, a bit, because of weather. That's my go with the flow part. Is do I load on a Thursday or on a Friday? But like I said earlier, I got a sheet with detailed plan. Not exactly to the minute for the packing, because that depends on the weather. But Thursday or Saturday before, I take brisket out of the freezer, pork shoulders out. Tuesday, I get ribs and chicken. Wednesday, I trim everything. Thursday's trash day, so I got to get rid of all the bits or it'll sink all weekend. And then sometimes load up Thursday night, sometimes Friday morning on some closer competitions when I don't have to necessarily drive for 3 or 4 hours to get somewhere. And then it's just that I prepared a lot ahead of time. That really helps. It sounds like you do the same thing, which I think is going to really help you when you do your first competition.
Yeah, I've taken 5 classes, so my wife do let me go a couple days and go to a class, and here I go to the class, pick up what I can, and I just got to go start practicing and go from there. But I done turned YouTube inside out, podcasts inside out, books inside out, so I got the knowledge, and I'm just ready to get out there and just try it. So I'm going to get out there one day.
You're going to do it, man. It's going to be great. I think everybody should try it at least. And it sounds like very prepared.
Yeah.
You just got to try it, man.
Yeah. Here in Georgia, GBA got a lot of stuff around in the area. So but the thing is, they don't do brisket, they do pork loin. So, and they don't.
I mean, pork loin's tasty, but it's not like the king of the smoker.
Yeah. That's a big difference. Do you have any rituals, superstitions, any music or must-haves that you got to have in the trailer?
I mean, I've gone down to as slim line as I can anymore. So I've got just the specific tools I need. I didn't bring 27 spatulas. I know I don't need any spatulas. So slimline everything. The only thing I'd say is kind of a ritual now. This past season and a half, I've been listening to some ambient Viking music during turn-in times. It's kind of got, not too many words to make me lose focus, but it's kind of got a good driving thing. I'm not going to impersonate it right now, but it's not yodeling, but
I didn't watch the TV show Vikings. I pretty much think
right? You know what I mean.
Yeah. It's
not a toil, but it's like I'm getting ready to try and conquer.
Exactly. Amps you up. And say, what's the toughest loss you've had, and what did it teach you?
Gosh, I'd say probably the toughest loss is my second placing. I've gotten second place with my barbecue rubs, second place with chicken, pork, ribs. Not brisket. I've gotten fourth place with brisket. Second place with pork. Just can't seem to get a first place. So every time I get a second place, that just, But I know that I used to never get second places. And so I'm just on the cusp, and I can't wait for it to hit. It's gonna be a great day.
Well, a lot of people will be satisfied just with a second place.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very satisfying. But gosh, I want a first place, just one.
Yeah,
it's not too much to ask.
Lose by a small percentage point or something like that.
And it does come down to that. There's been like 1/100th of a point separating people. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy, and you just gotta live with it.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday.
Exactly. For backyard cooks thinking about jumping in the comp, what's one thing they need to understand before they show up?
I think practicing is probably the best thing you can do for yourself before you show up. Like, you know the timeline, you know when they're expecting the entries and when you can show up. Practice that. You know, like with KCBS having the brisket and Wagyu brisket being like what you got to cook if you're going to compete. That's expensive.
Yes.
You don't have to necessarily practice with the best quality of everything, but I highly recommend stepping through the whole process. If you got the guts, do it for the whole timeline. Like KCBS, from the comfort of your home, you can do it overnight cook and follow your process and just see how things are hitting, if they're on your timelines or not. That will help you feel comfortable making changes when you're there that first time, as well as, get you some good barbecue along the way. Practicing is, I think, probably the biggest thing you need to do to be ready, because you want to know when things are going to be ready to turn in, how they feel, how they taste. You don't want to be guessing. Don't mix up your rub at the contest.
It's true.
Used to do that kind of thing. Which sauce are we going to use? Let's try this one. And sometimes, it still is that kind of game these days, because there's very similar sauces, and that finishing really kind of ends up winning you or losing you it.
That's definitely true. Yeah, that's what I want to do, just practice, do the timeline, come up with a timeline, and also practice when it rains or it's cold or if it's really hot, so I can get a feel of what I'm doing. So I won't be out there in panic as soon as something happens, and then everything goes awry. So I definitely
do you keep a spreadsheet? Like you asked if I had it. I don't have a spreadsheet of my results, but do you have one with like this temperature, this rack of ribs, it was 94% humidity kind of thing?
No, I don't have that yet, because I plan on using the Gateway drum, but since it's over there brand new, I don't. Right now, I got some pellet grills and a gravity feed and all that I had used now, but I want to use the drums to compete with. So when I start using those, I'm going to start writing stuff down and get specific with it.
I mean, in the end, there's a bit of a difference because of the higher temperature usually. Then you go with pellet smokers, which I use my Yoder. Love it. I've got a Pit Boss also that has seen some work. The drum, you just need to practice your process a little bit. Kind of find out the timing on things. And then you can adapt when you first try it. Like you want to know, hey, it's going to probably take 4 hours for these ribs when you first drop them on at 300 degrees.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd look forward to that. What's a simple thing teams can do that instantly improves their cook?
Let's see. Well, I kind of got a tip I thought I'd share. I got one thing here, a mesh filter. I use this with sifting my rubs, or any rubs, not just rubs I make, but as well as my sauces, because in competition there's perfection you're chasing. So I used to have a pair of tweezers, and things like a crushed red pepper in the sauce would be right in the middle of that chicken, and I'd have to pick that off because you don't want a big spicy bite, and you never know how somebody's going to react necessarily. So using a mesh filter like this helps to eliminate that concern later on in your game. So you're more prepared, you've eliminated problems, and you're more focused on getting it right in the box without a thumbprint on it. And so I recommend doing that, and I could show kind of what I mean. I got my rubs, which is one thing I recommend when using my rubs even, is to run them through a filter. So got a little setup here. See if we can make this work. You can always cut it out. So we'll use this SDQ Classic, which is a rub I developed in about 2016, and have been medium okay at selling, but use it every time in competition. It's kind of got a smoky hit with Kansas City, a little bit of sweet, paprika, all kinds of good flavors. But so we'll see how this works out. I just kind of dump some in, and then try not to get it, and try not to get the powder all in my face here. If I start sneezing, it's going to be everywhere. This is going to be a disaster. But as I'm shaking here, I see it's probably not coming through too great. The finer ingredients coming out, and then it's kind of left with, let's see, I've got a little piece of paper here. You kind of can see the different chunks of things. In my rub in particular, there's like bell pepper and paprika and things, which I still think are important parts of the flavor. So I recommend a cheap little coffee filter or grinder. Just give it a little dump. Once I've got it in here, I dump it in there, give it a quick grind down much finer, pass it through again, and then it goes back in. I shake it all up, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, that's definitely more efficient. And it's definitely a pro tip because it saves time on the back end because if you get something happen and lose track of time, you're sitting there trying to pick stuff off the meat where you could have did it earlier and saved time. So that's definitely helpful.
That's the main thing, that stressful time. I'm trying to get this box ready, and then that's gotten me running. Seconds to turn in.
And if you want to go over some of your rubs and tell us about each one of your rubs.
Sure. So after many years of competitioning, I kind of came up with some recipes for some barbecue rubs. I've got my classic, which was the first one. Then there's this SDQ Hot, which has gotten second place at the American Royal Barbecue Contest, Barbecue Rub Contest twice, 2020 and 2024. This last year, 2025, I got sixth place. So it consistently is scoring very well there, as well as in the National Barbecue Association. They have a rub contest there, and it also achieved fifth place. So it's been across the country very popular. My number one seller, to be honest, is the sweet garlic, which I'm getting another batch, and I'll have again soon, and I'll get you a bottle. It's kind of sweet, a little more garlicky. And then my latest one is this Pitmaster's Blend, which most of my rubs are a little bit sweet. This one, I cut that out, and now salty, savory. This kind of is my undercoat, and I haven't gotten it completely bottled yet, and I'll get one to you too as well. That one's great with pork as well. And so got a little bit of a collection of rubs here.
What made you get into wanting to do your own seasoning? Were you?
But once you find something that you like I definitely am a mix, fine ingredients together. I'm a programmer, like those nitty gritty little details of things, and I go into blending them out, and it just seemed like a good idea. I don't know. I needed a hobby that was more engaging, even multi-dimensional, I guess. Just how my brain works, I gotta have something that really occupies me, and so it kind of was like, let's see how this works as a business, and making an LLC, learning about getting your recipes actually made at scale, all kinds of things like that have been kind of satisfying for me, even if I'm not the greatest salesman on earth yet. I'm satisfied with my flavors, and I know they have success if they're in the proper hands.
Exactly. I admire people that do that because you got to know what amount of everything to put in there, or it's not going to turn out right. I admire y'all that do the rubs like that because everybody can't do that.
Sure. I know several of the folks in the Kansas City Barbecue Society that have lots of success, and they have several great brands out there. Many great brands have come from that circuit. And there's a lot of people that get pretty serious like that, and it's pretty interesting. Although in the end, they all kind of start tasting the same.
Yeah, a lot of them do, because when I get stuff, I try to read the ingredients and stuff like that and see what makes it stand out. But a lot of people, some of them copy other people, but I like the ones that do their own thing and it stands out from the other. And you can say, okay, they put their heart into this based on your names and what you have. It shows that you took your time and put thought into it and not just toss anything out just to make a quick buck.
Yeah, it's not making a quick buck, that's for sure. It's a business, and you got to be committed to invest in it. I'd say, having done it a little bit, it takes money to make money.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, the certificate's right behind your head. It gonna catch it. It catches people's attention.
Yeah, it's other people have liked it is the key, not just me, and so that also helps keep me going with it as more demand is satisfying. I want to make people happy, especially with food. Definitely.
All right, we're gonna switch over to do something different. Now, towards the end, I usually kind of do something fun, and then we'll finish up from there. But what I came up with was a college tournament has the brackets. So
Sure.
what I did is I made a 16-team bracket, but it's barbecue meats on them, and I got them mixed up randomly, and I'm gonna give you each matchup, and we're gonna see which meat you like the most. The first matchup is smoked turkey versus hot dog.
Smoked turkey and hot dogs. Smoked turkey. Man, I don't cook it enough.
Okay. Second matchup is smoked bologna versus pork chops.
Oh, man. I got this baked pork chop recipe that's fire. Some cream of celery. Oh, man. So I kind of lean towards pork chop, but man, that smoked bologna, that's a treat too. I'm gonna say smoked bologna.
Oh, I love pork chops. Send me the recipe though.
You got it.
All right, we got smoked ham versus smoked chicken.
Smoked chicken. I got to cut back on my preservatives.
Beef ribs versus pork belly.
Two fatty cuts. Both, I mean, bacon wrapped beef rib bites. Those are good. I just did some beef ribs and was super happy with them. I think I'm going to beef rib it.
Okay. We got lamb versus burnt ends.
Burn ends. When they're hitting, you stuff your face. I stuff my face at least. I don't know.
Sausage versus hamburger.
Sausage, because sometimes I put the hamburger in the sausage.
Barbecue shrimp versus steak.
Steak versus shrimp. That's a tough one to put up against each other. I mean, gotta go steak.
Okay. Pork ribs versus brisket.
Pork ribs versus... I already picked burn ends, so pork ribs are going to make a showing.
Okay. All right, next round you got turkey versus the bologna.
Turkey versus smoked bologna. Smoked turkey, smoked bologna, smoked turkey. Let's do smoked bologna.
Wow.
That's the treat. That's how I'm approaching this. Not necessarily my world's favoriteest thing ever, but what's the most satisfying?
All right, we got smoked chicken versus beef rib.
Beef rib.
Okay. You got burnt ends versus sausage.
I gotta go sausage, because that's one of the things with competition. You're gonna end up trimming all kinds of portions off your meats. Like I'm sure you've seen in your classes, they take a 20-pound brisket, 22-pound brisket, and turn it into about 4.5-pound chunk.
Yeah, and throw it right in the garbage. They throw the ends in the garbage. They're like, what are you doing?
Man, you got to make some sausage, even if it takes a while to get to them.
Exactly. All right, we got steak versus pork ribs.
Pork ribs.
All right,
Man,
final
it's hard to make these choices.
four. That's what we're supposed to do. Bologna versus beef ribs.
I'm still gonna go beef ribs.
Okay.
Man, when they're hitting, they are amazing.
And we got sausage versus pork ribs.
Sausage.
Wow. All right, we got beef ribs and sausage in the finals, and the winner is.
Beef ribs. Haven't mastered my sausage recipe yet. But I feel like after this last rack I did, man, I mastered those ribs. Wow, they were good.
You'd be surprised beef rib didn't won a few times. All right, I got one more tournament, and then we'll finish up. This one right here is a tournament of the 16 greatest athletes of all time. Random
All right.
sports. All right, matchup number one: Lionel Messi and Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. I mean, he's just a stud. Even Messi's popular too, but Jordan's from my era.
Yeah.
My era.
Tom Brady versus Usain Bolt.
Goat. I mean, they're both goats. Tom Brady's been a goat for 20 years, year in, year out. That's a lot of goating.
Simone Biles, Michael Phelps.
Simone Biles. I mean, Michael Phelps is a dolphin or something, and I got a nephew who's shaped just like him, good swimmer in college. But being able to fly like Simone does, just amazing.
All right. We got Cristiano Ronaldo and Tiger Woods.
Ronaldo. Is that another soccer guy?
Yeah.
Oh, Tiger, because he's the. Oh, they're getting my light. Let's see if I can get my light back on. Have the auto off? That'd be goofy. Hey! Okay.
All right. We got Wayne Gretzky versus Dale Earnhardt.
Let's go with Gretzky. Although I can't remember the name, I heard somebody beat his either game or goal record this year.
Yeah, I did.
But he's still, I mean, Gretzky's just a hell of a name for someone on the ice.
Exactly. All right, we got Barry Bonds versus Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. I mean, Barry Bonds is a little bit tainted.
He's good though.
It's float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
All right, LeBron James versus Lewis Hamilton. That's a race car driver. F1.
I mean, for race car drivers, Earnhardt would have been my guy. But in this mashup, LeBron.
Okay. And Serena Williams versus Roger Federer.
Oh, goodness. I mean, it's like number one versus number one.
We're gonna make it
They're both got just raw power, so I say Serena. She's been more popular and she's kind of cute.
All right, next round: MJ versus Tom Brady.
Man, they both got like two hands of rings, and have most of the stats.
Exactly.
I'm a bigger football fan, to be honest, so I gotta go Tom Brady.
Okay.
I'm tall, so I played basketball as a rec kid, but I wasn't good at it. So I leaned towards football after that.
Okay. You got Simone Biles versus Tiger Woods.
Simone Biles. I mean, hitting the ball is really hard. I can't golf to save my life, but she can fly.
Wayne Gretzky, Muhammad Ali.
Gretzky.
Okay.
It's hard to call between them, but man, it's a long, long career of 80 games a season or whatever. I mean, however many. There's a lot of hockey, and that's hard work.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we got LeBron versus Serena.
Serena.
All right, final four. You got Brady versus Biles.
Flying. I mean, I think that's great. That's amazing that not many people. I can throw a football. I can't fly.
All right, you got Gretzky versus Serena.
Serena. Just, I mean, it's tough. These are tough calls.
Yeah.
I like all of these athletes, except the one driver I didn't know.
And the final is Biles versus Serena.
Serena. I mean, flying is great, but I don't know why. I think Serena is my number one athlete.
All right. Your therapy session is complete. And if you have any shout outs or anything else to promote, you definitely have time to do that.
Well, there's my barbecue rubs, SDQ, Summa Dat Que. You can check them out, SDQ BBQ, SDQ BBQ.com. I got 4 flavors. My sweet garlic and the Pitmasters blend are both coming down the pipe in the next couple weeks. And get your orders in. And then a shout out I like to do is for my son. He's actually the most successful pitmaster in the Summa Dat Que stable of pitmasters, and he's actually here. And so I'd like to shout him out in person because I'm proud of him.
Hey, how you doing?
It's my son Xander. He's 13. He is actually a grand champion junior pitmaster in a stake competition.
All right. That's nice to hear. Hey, congratulations. And stick with it. If you like it, stick with it. Don't let nobody deter you, and just keep practicing. So congratulations.
Thanks. And so, first time on the tubes.
Oh, there's no problem. Any other shout outs or anything?
You got any shout outs?
No.
The only other shout out I'd say is to Fergalicious Barbecue. His salt, pepper, garlic is helping my brisket out the last couple of years, get some calls. So,
All right.
I like there's barbecue out there.
Definitely, I appreciate you coming on, and anytime that you want to come on, like I said, anybody that see my vision, you're welcome to. Even if you want to promote for 10 minutes and your new rubs, you can come on and I'll record for 10 minutes and add it on to a video. So the door is open. You got the link to the calendar. So whenever you want to schedule, first come, first serve in my book.
Right on, right on. Well, I've watched your other episodes, and you're doing a great job, man. I'm learning things, and I'm watching the whole thing. So I really appreciate what you're doing, and I'm happy that you invited me on.
Oh, no problem, because I'm trying to reach out to people that don't get their voice heard a lot of time, because most podcasts have the same people on, and there's other people that do great things also. So I want to reach out to those different people and give them a chance to tell their story and where they started to where they're at now, as well as show their products and how good their products are also. So I definitely appreciate you coming on and taking time out your schedule to share with everybody else, because your pro tips probably helped other people also. So that's the main thing, is just helping other people.
For sure. Anytime you got questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I definitely will.
It's any given Saturday. There's no secrets. You just got to do it better than me.
I definitely appreciate that, and we'll see y'all next episode. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant. Please tune in to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and any streaming platform near you. Please pay the secretary on your way out, and we'll see you next episode.
Y'all go ham barbecue.